Snowy Monaro's 2042 Draft Plan, a masterpiece in bureaucratic babble? By Chris Chan. The Snowy Monaro Community Strategic Draft Plan 2042 has arrived, brimming with lofty ideals, polished bureaucratic language, and a reassuring commitment to transparency and accountability. But dig beneath the surface, and this plan quickly starts to look like just another glossy document filled with fanciful words, questionable engagement statistics, and a whole lot of nothing good for the community and its future. A plan of grandiose intentions, lacking substance. At first glance, the document promises a future where our region thrives, one that is resilient, inclusive, and vibrant. However, upon closer inspection, it becomes evident that these words are rhetorical padding rather than practical policy. Missing are the concrete details on how exactly the Council intends to address long-standing issues. Roads crumbling? The plan acknowledges infrastructure challenges but provides no clear roadmap to fixing them. Financial mismanagement? No mention of how the Council will prevent past budgeting failures. Council service? The most consistent feedback in surveys of the community is the lack of a customer service focus and the extraordinary number of times Council has to be contacted to obtain a response. Affordable housing crisis? The words affordable housing appear, but no concrete actions follow. Instead, the document leans on vague aspirations, listing priorities without specifying who will be responsible, what actions will be taken, and, most importantly, who will pay for it, and what the ongoing costs will be for the community. The myth of community engagement. One of the most glaring issues with this plan is its claim to be community-driven. This is a long way from the truth. The numbers tell a different story. The Council proudly states that 699 residents participated in the engagement process. Given that the region has a population of 22,132, that equates to a mere 3.2% of residents. In what world does such a small and self-selected sample represent the broader community? The consultation methods, surveys, pop-up sessions, and drawing sheets, yes, they had local kids draw pictures, are hardly a serious effort to gauge public opinion. If the Council truly wanted authentic engagement, it would have ensured broader and more structured participation across the community. Instead, it seems more interested in ticking boxes for Council staff priorities, rather than actually listening to the community's concerns and priorities. The UN Sustainable Development Goals, global distraction, local irrelevance? The plan aligns itself with the United Nations, UN, Sustainable Development Goals, a set of broad objectives, which in themselves sound reasonable, though lack transparency regarding policy and regulations for their implementation, designed by the UN for what they consider to be global development. The attempt to apply them to Snowy Monaro's unique local challenges feels performative rather than practical. For example, the Sustainable Development Goals call for climate action, yet the plan lacks specific local policies beyond generic environmental protection language. In accepting this strategic plan, the community is not told what this will mean in practice for the community, in terms of energy, transport, land use, etc. Sustainable cities and communities is a listed goal, yet the plan does not elucidate what this means in practice for the community. What key changes will be required to set this in place? In what ways will this transform the towns and rural areas of the Snowy Monaro? Certainly, the plan details no tangible strategy for improving public transport or urban planning. By shoehorning these global frameworks into the document, the Council effectively commits the small rural towns of the Snowy Monaro to the unseen and unaccountable regulation of the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. This creates the illusion of forward-thinking governance while avoiding true local consultation with the community in both towns and rural areas, and the pressing, real-world concerns of ratepayers regarding the Shire and its future. The transparency illusion. Ironically, while the plan claims to champion open, transparent, and accountable leadership, it offers no substantive commitments to improving governance. Certainly, the current battle in the general meetings of Council for these principles to be upheld by the Council, at this point, provide no ground for assurance heading into the future. There is no mention of releasing full financial breakdowns of Council spending, full transparency regarding the Council organizational structure itself, That is, the people and their roles in the cog that intends to implement this plan on behalf of the community. Improving public awareness of and access to critical documents, such as legal advice or infrastructure contracts. Addressing concerns about decision-making processes, which have previously raised eyebrows among ratepayers. Providing better services in planning, road maintenance, and responsiveness to residents' concerns. Instead, we are fed vague reassurances that leadership will be contemporary and enabled by effective communication and engagement. What does this even mean? Based on past council meetings, council has no idea about how to deliver the planned governance that is open, transparent, and accountable. These principles have been voted down repeatedly by the Hannah Gang, so one might ask, then to whom? Final verdict: a vision without a map, or perhaps the wrong map and the wrong vision. The Snowy Monaro Community Draft Strategic Plan 2042 reads less like a genuine, local, tailor-made roadmap for regional prosperity, and more like a public relations exercise wrapped in bureaucratic jargon and icons cut and pasted from the UN website. It raises issues but doesn't solve them, cites untested UN global frameworks out of New York that don't fit our local reality, and brands itself as transparent while offering no history to date in the current council, or detail in the draft document as evidence to back that claim. The residents of Snowy Monaro deserve more than words without action, plans without details, roadmaps without funding, and promises without accountability. As ratepayers, we must ask, will this plan lead to genuine progress? Or is it just another case of council talking the talk without walking the walk? And ultimately, is this a talk and a walk that the community has indicated that it wants to commit to? A globally regulated framework out of New York imposed upon the small and unique rural towns of the Snowy Monaro. Please read the draft plan and complete the feedback form. Unless everyone across the Snowy Monaro takes this seriously, we could be pushed into a United Nations mandated smart city, with, amongst other things, cameras on every post, Big Brother looking at everything we do, and mandated electric vehicles with insufficient energy supply for residents to travel more than 20 minutes from home. And all this while the rates rise, the rubbish piles up, and the potholes in the roads become craters. Please make your views known as soon as possible. Feedback form. Please encourage people to make their views known to council. Note: closing date for feedback is 24th March.